One day, a golden boy walked by, and all the onlookers just wondered and thought, who is this charming and enchanting young boy? And when he reached home, his own mother could not recognize him. And she wondered about the identity of this extraordinary boy. And then he explained to his mother that he is her very own son. And he told the story of how he became of golden complexion from dark complexion. So one morning, when little Narottam, he was a prince who lived in West Bengal and he was from a royal family. So he went to River Padma to take his daily bath. And the river herself imparted transcendental love of Godhead that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left for him with River Padma. Thereafter, he experienced great love for Sri Sri Shamsundar. And he left home at a very tender age of 16 and he started traveling towards Jagannath Puri because he wanted to take darshan of Mahaprabhu. He traveled along with Sri Shyamananda Prabhu and Srinivasacharya. However, on the way, they received news of the disappearance of Mahaprabhu and his associates. And feeling great distress, they changed their route and they started towards Vrindavan, hoping to meet Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. However, also they had brought their pastimes to the end, and all the three of them completely plunged into great grief. When they finally reached Vrindavan, they took shelter of Srila Jiva Goswami and they received instructions on all transcendental subject matters. However, since Srila Jiva Goswami was not initiating anyone, he instructed Narottam to take shelter of Srila Lokanath Prabhu. Following the instructions of Jiva Goswami, Narottama Das Thakura, he went to take shelter of Sri Lokanath Prabhu. And he begged him for initiation. But he also refused, saying that he did not want to have any disciples. And thereafter, resolving to please Lokanath Prabhu, Narottam would every morning go and clean the area where Lokanath Prabhu would go to pass stool. This soon came to the attention of Lokanath Prabhu, and he decided to check who was doing this. And when he discovered that it was Narottam, being pleased with his humble service, he gave him initiation. And Srila Narottama Das Thakura started performing his bhajan under the guidance of his Diksha Guru, Sri Lokanath Prabhu, and his Shiksha Guru, Srila Jiva Goswami. And after some time, under the instructions of Srila Jiva Goswami, Srila Narottama Das Thakura went to West Bengal along with his Srinivasacharya and Shyamananda Prabhu and preached the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Thereafter, in Keturi Dham, he performed the very first Gaur Purnima festival, in which Janava Mata herself, the eternal consort of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, was personally present, and she cooked a great feast for all the assembled Vaishnavas. And during this festival, after the installation of the deities, during the uproarious kirtan, all the devotees there had the divine darshan of Sri Sri Panchatattva dancing in kirtan. Srila Narottama Das Thakura preached far and wide and made many disciples, many of whom were even caste brahmanas, which made other brahmanas who were not above the bodily designation feel very offended, and they were even offensive towards him, saying that he would go to hell because he was initiating Brahmins when he himself was a Kshatriya, Kayastha. This displeased Srila Narottama Das Thakura, and therefore with his sweet will, he left this material world. However, not understanding the exalted position, the Brahmanas started to say that this was happening due to the offense of initiating Brahmanas. And seeing this, the dear disciples of Narottama Das Thakura requested him to please come back to life to prove these offensive people and their falsity. and just for the pleasure of his devotees, Srila Narottama Das Thakura became conscious again and thus proved all these offenders wrong. Realizing their mistake, these devotees fell at the lotus feet of Srila Narottama Das Thakura and begged forgiveness. And after this incident, Narottama Das Thakura blessed the entire population by staying on the planet for another 1 year, after which he gave up his life by dissolving in the river Padma, the same river which had given him divine instructions, which was personally given to river Padma by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such is the glory of Srila Narottama Das Thakura. So let us meditate and pray to gain blessings of his causeless mercy of Srila Narottama Das Thakura, so that we may make spiritual advancement in our lives. Hare Krishna.